No, I don't think so. I think that if I think about the future, and I would really come back to this idea of, in a way, it relates to your question about the scientific mind, because I think I think the challenge for the future, and especially with the funding difficulty, and young people, students, they see their mentors struggling to get funding, and so they can sometimes get a little worried about whether or not they're going to be able to make it. And I think that we want to be careful not to go on the side of getting students, the idea is that, well, if they have a lot of publications, they're going to do well. And, that's partly true, but there's this other aspect of really giving students, to me, to get a PhD, to develop a scientific mind takes time. You can't just walk into the lab and do a bunch of experiments and get a bunch of papers, and then you've got a scientific mind. It is going to go on. It may get you a good postdoc, and it may even get you a good faculty position, but it's not going to give you what you need in terms of the long run. Because, as you said, you have to change your tactics. What happens when you get a, quote, dead end? Yeah, what do? You can't get a dead end. You've got to keep going. You've got to figure out another way to try and approach this. So you want to make sure that people who are coming out with their PhDs really have that background, because for me, I always tell my students that the clock starts the day they walk to their postdoc, because up until that time, they should be trained with a scientific mind to know how to do science. That's what they should come out. Once they go as a postdoc, then the clock starts. Now you got to be productive. Before then, you got to learn how to do science, but then you got to be productive. But so my concern is that this productivity is getting pushed back into the early graduate student years, and so that they don't have this time to make mistakes. They've got to try things.